Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check out the good folks at International Diamond Center. Today's program will have Brent Beaird, college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter, and then we'll have Ryan Urquhart, who is the voice of Lady Gator softball. Big series against the #1 team in America, the Tennessee Lady Vols, starts. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll get his thoughts on, they're about 7th or 8th in America, have one loss on the year. We'll get his thoughts. If you missed it last night, what a win for Miami, Ohio. They advance, and the Gators will be playing Prairie View A&M, the Panthers. Let's go to the Titan MR Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by, as I said, our Heisman Trophy voter, Brent Beaird. Good morning, Brent. How you doing?
Hey, Juan, it's a great time of year, isn't it, Shane? With the basketball tournament going on and spring practice, that's a lot of fun. This may be the next best time of year next to the football season, frankly.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. There's plenty of whatever you like to watch, there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
So
really is.
it is a great time. Got great golf tournaments going on, and this March Madness cranking up today. If you have not gotten into the bracket challenge, it's been posted on all the different social media sites, but you have until about 12, I guess, to do it. It'll be a great little prize package that will be given away. Speaking of the NCAA basketball selection show, Brent, a lot of folks watched it.
Oh, yeah, they really do. It is 6.4 million viewers. From 6 to 7, it peaked at 7.1, the best ratings in about a dozen years. Look, what they finally figured out with the selection show is there's enough, frankly, suspense, can I use that word, in the selection show to where they don't need to do anything else. You remember they've tried a little bit of everything over the years, including bringing the NBA guys in and letting them talk, but now basically all they need to do is show the brackets, and that's what they finally figured out. And over the last few years, it is done well. So, Shane, that's one of those things to where if it's not broke, don't try to fix it, and that's not broke by any means.
Yeah, it's a great time. We'll see if we have any upsets in the making. I don't know if there's going to be that many this year. I don't know why I think that, but Brent, it's always interesting when it gets this time of the year. You know, they come out with the Power Four teams that did not make a bowl game, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Tell us who those people are.
Yeah, the Power Four teams not to make a bowl game, the NCAA tournament, men's or women's, Auburn, Boston College, Florida State, Rutgers, and Stanford. Now, on the other hand, if I may, Shane, the only 4 schools in the country to make the college football playoff, men's March Madness and women's March Madness, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, and Alabama. So that's kind of interesting to see. That does that mean a lot? No, not really. But it just means some of these schools did not have a great year in those sports. Shane, if I may, let me add real quick, and this came out yesterday. Matt Berry is going to replace Laura Rutledge as a host of SEC Nation, the pregame show on the SEC network. Laura's got a family. She's got a lot going on. Is doing probably a lot more now with the NFL Matt Berry, who people are familiar with. If you're not familiar with the name, when you see him, you'll recognize him. He's been with ESPN since 2013. So just wanted to make that real quick. That came out yesterday. I don't think it was a lot said about it, Shane, but just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Laura's a mom. She's got two young kids, and
Right.
that woman does more. I don't know how she did it as much as she was
Really?
doing. So, yeah, she's probably, she's probably told them, look, I got to cut some of this out.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
going to
Really.
stick with the NFL, which is probably a smart move. Brent, David Cutcliffe, the old coach who had been working in the SEC offices, calling it quits.
Well, people may be wondering, who is David Cutcliffe? We haven't seen him in a while. Well, David Cutcliffe, frankly, is a former National Coach of the Year. He's three-time Conference Coach of the Year. But he had a job with the SEC. The job title was Special Assistant to the Commissioner, so he did various things. He coached for 4 decades, 20 years as a head coach at Ole Miss and Duke. May have been well known as much as anything, Shane, as the assistant at Tennessee from 82 to 98, and again from 06 to 07. He was head coach at Ole Miss. As we mentioned, he was head coach at Duke. Joined the SEC office in 2022. I'm curious if you know him at all. But look, as far as a quarterbacks coach, he is easily one of the more renowned guys in the SEC. So, and look, David is, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it means something. So sad to hear that, but hopefully he'll enjoy life. And Shane, he could spend the rest of his life being a quarterback coach guru for people, couldn't he?
He could. It will surprise me if he's not hired by somebody as one of these offensive analysts and you just
Yeah,
come
yeah,
during football season and help us, because he's a great offensive mind. I think he's known the most probably because he coached Eli and Peyton in college.
that's right. Yes.
But yeah, I've met him a few times, just down to earth, low key guy, really good football coach, and he's had a great career. Brent, it's that time of the year too where we talk about college football coaches on the hot seat.
Yeah, Mike Norvell, Florida State's the number one guy on the list. We'll see a lot of different lists, as Shane said, over time. Now, again, Mike Norvell has a $50 million buyout, but the reality is that the numbers are not good. Obviously, after going 23-4 with an ACC title in 22 through 23, Florida State is only 7-17 and 3-13 in ACC play over the last 2 seasons. So he's the number one guy listed here. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, who really had a bright future, and I'm not saying he can't still have one, but he's number 2. Dave Aranda is number 3. Mike Locksley at Maryland is number 4 here. They had a top 10. I won't go into all of them, but Shane Beamer is number 8. This is a big year for Beamer in a lot of ways. Lincoln Riley is on this list. USC under Lincoln Riley is 35-18, but they've yet to win a conference title or appear in a playoff game, and that's one thing that needs to happen for them soon. And Bill Belichick, obviously, is number 10 on the list, hoping to have a better year. So, Shane, those lists are not worth much, but they make some interesting fodder this time of year, don't they?
They do. The Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, invite you to try the mango martinis at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, handcrafted with their J.F. Hayden liqueurs. Try those flavors or find your favorite at shopjfhaydens.com. All right, Brent, it's again that time of the year where people are picking the win totals of college football teams out there.
Yeah, absolutely. FanDuel is doing this. I'll give them credit for that. Obviously, Texas and Georgia, 9.5 wins. Notre Dame and Texas Tech have the highest win totals. This is interesting, 11.5. 3 P4 teams with 10.5 wins, Miami, Oregon, and Indiana. Alabama, A&M, and LSU, 8.5 wins. Oklahoma and Ole Miss, 7.5. Florida is in a group with Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn, and Vandy with 6.5 estimated wins. South Carolina, Kentucky, 5.5. Arkansas, Mississippi State, 4.5. Now, look, as Shane said, this is just fodder for the off season along that line. One thing we've got to keep in mind for these SEC teams is the additional conference game as we go from 8 to 9, right, Shane? That's going to make a big difference in some of these teams' win total.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally forgot about that till you mentioned it as well, that we got 9 conference games now, and that's what people have been wanting.
Yeah.
It's just going to make the regular season much more difficult, for sure. Brent, we got a couple people here asking, Baron71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, can you ask Brent what the Georgia fans' expectations are for Mike White and the Bulldogs in the tournament?
Well, White is one, like, to his credit, now look, Mike White is not the best coach in the SEC, but give them credit. I mean, they've won 20 games over the last 2 or 3 years. And they kind of start well as they did this year, and they kind of take a step back, and then they finished well as they did. So, I mean, realistically, if they could win a game, maybe even make the Sweet 16, that would be incredibly helpful for Georgia, and people kind of forget that Georgia is playing. But look, yeah, there are 10 SEC schools who will be playing. That's going to be very interesting to see where they do. Obviously, led by the Florida Gators.
Yeah, Georgia plays. I don't know if they play today or tomorrow, but they play St. Louis, a team very similar to them. It's going to be a track meet. I would say the Georgia fans are happy with Mike White and what he's done with the basketball program there, would be my guess. John wants to know, do we have any upset picks today? I don't know if Kentucky plays today, but I think they're going to lose to Sinclair.
Matter of fact, I think, Shane, that they are the 12-15 game, so they'll be playing early today.
Okay. All right, Brent, let's go around the league. What's going on in Tuscaloosa?
They started spring practice, then they had spring break. They had 4 practices with that. Couple of guys that we may know much about right now, but have got the coach's attention. Devon Thompson, who is a former USC player, 6'5", 298. They've been impressed with what he's done. Really good defensive lineman. Caleb Woodson, a former Virginia Tech player, 6'3", 238, has in his career already has 153 tackles. That's amazing, frankly. So those are a couple of guys for Bama to keep your eye on. I think they've done okay. There's certainly some excitement for them. They think they're improved, but that's just kind of spring practice talk, isn't it, Shane? That this time of year everybody's getting better.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Franklin has a question on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing regarding basketball. Does Vanderbilt's coach get poached? Mark Byington. I'm trying to think of what jobs are open right now in college basketball. I think he's okay at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he's done a really good job.
Oh, he's a hell of a coach. I just don't know if there are any jobs out there that are better than Vanderbilt's.
Well, and you hit it on the head. There are a lot of jobs that are open, and there'll be more jobs with, who knows, guys may retire. I think that's what we're looking for in the next 2 or 3 years, is a lot of these guys are going to be retiring. I think that's important to think about that too. Now Vandy's got Iowa, so they may not. That's a 9 and a 5. Vandy's a 5. So I don't know about that one. They may not last long. But look, this is a good Vanderbilt team. They've got good guards, and that can take you away in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. What's going on with the Arkansas Razorbacks?
Well, they're kicking off spring drills. Ryan Silverfield, as we probably a lot of people have already forgotten, but he is the new coach. They've got 42 transfers, 13 high school recruits, and 26 returnees on the roster, and they've got a little bit more money to deal with. Shane, you probably know more about this than most people, but Arkansas obviously has Tyson Foods and some folks like that help them, but Arkansas also is not easy with money sometimes. So that's going to be a challenge for Silverfield, but they're pretty optimistic about what he might could do.
What's going on with Georgia?
Georgia, I think the biggest thing is that there's some things they really need to improve on, particularly the defensive line. Georgia averaged just 4.2 tackles per loss last year. That was the lowest mark with Kirby since he has been there. So that's going to be a real marked improvement, they hope. And they just started Tuesday. So Georgia is really still in helmets and shorts is what it amounts to. But they think their defensive line is going to be better this year. They've got Amarius Williams, who came from Auburn, who they really like too. So that's going to be something worth watching for the Dogs to see how much they can improve. A lot said about the offense, but the defense is going to be huge for them this year.
MSRK on YouTube, brought to you by Quiet Plum, says, "How about the coach at Auburn? His seat has to be a little warm." Talking about Bruce Pearl's son. That whole thing with Bruce being on TV now for this selection show and everything, and him trying to lobby for Auburn, just very bizarre to me.
It is. Stephen Pearl will get another year after this year. That they won't fire him. They're just too much and too many questions right now. Frankly, a lot of people thought Auburn should have gotten in. That was questionable. They were only one game over 500. They had a losing SEC record. Now Auburn's in the NIT. They won their first game at Auburn. They've got two more home games if they keep winning. But frankly, in fairness to Stephen, I assume he probably knew what his dad was going to do, but he took over the job. They had some discipline problems that he's trying to get straightened out in hopes of having a better year next year.
For sure. What's going on with the LSU Tigers?
A lot. Is LSU is cranking up too. Yeah, as you can imagine. T. Martin is their new offensive analyst coming from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is something that the reverse is what we're seeing a lot more of in the chain. People going from college to the NFL. This is just the reverse of that. T. Martin, obviously the Tennessee quarterback. So that's going to be interesting to see what he does. Now, he's an analyst, so this may be just a stopping point until he does something else. LSU has 40 transfers. And they've got 9 players who are coming back who played in at least 5 games. So that's going to help them. Harlem Berry at running back, Caden Durham at running back, Trey'Dez Green at tight end, Weston Davidson on the offensive line, and Braylon Moore on the offensive line. Whit Weeks comes back at linebacker, Davon Keys, Tamarius Cooley at defensive back, and P.J. Woodland at defensive back. So they've got some guys coming back, but this will be a young team, so it's going to be really fascinating to see what Lane Kiffin and that staff do with this amount of talent LSU's got.
Yeah, T. Martin was on that staff with John Harbaugh that got fired. So that's why and he has a relationship with Kiffin. I think they were
Yep.
coaching together at USC at some point back in the day. Joseph's question for you on Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Law. Does Brent have any insight on the lawsuit LSU's media has filed against LSU?
Yeah, I don't know where that's going. That's going to be rather interesting. I mean, they are trying to get information. LSU's not giving them that. I'm not sure where that's going, frankly, and what how they're going to deal with that is going to be interesting. Yeah, people haven't seen that. You might want to Google that and take a look at it. That I'm not saying it's a groundbreaking situation, but I'll be very curious where that one goes.
Franklin's question on Facebook Live or YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. What do you think the Gator football staff is doing during spring break? They're on spring break vacationing. That's what they're doing. And they
They
need
need to
to.
be.
I think people forget these people have kids.
Yeah, they do.
So
Absolutely.
they're no different than us when it's spring break. You you have to go on trips for the most part. What about the Ole Miss Rebels, Brent?
Yeah, they are targeting Kansas State co-defense coordinator and defensive backs coach Marcus Woodson for some kind of a role on the staff. He has been around a little bit, worked around the league. Arkansas, Florida State, Auburn. That may be the reason his name is familiar. He played at Ole Miss, by the way, from '99 to 2002. And people may be wondering, are these staffs not full yet? Well, Shane, I know you understand this. Sometimes you especially if you're a new coach somewhere, you're coming in. It takes a while to get the staff going. And then you may have one guy or two guys leave for the NFL type thing. So, you're kind of constantly hiring coaches, aren't you?
Yeah, it never stops,
Yeah,
especially in today's world. There's no cap on how many coaches you can hire or what have you. What's up with the Aggies?
yeah. The A&M is certainly. I think the biggest thing came out this week was Trev Alberts, their AD, a new 6-year, $19 million deal that he has got. The annual base salary is 2.7, and he will receive this is amazing, a $200,000 bump in each ensuing contract year. That's good work if you can get it in it, Shane, to be able to get that. Now, people may think, well, where have I heard that name? Well, Trev Alberts was a college football analyst for years before he really got into to management in football, and frankly did a pretty good job. I mean, he got his share of criticism like everybody does, but he is, like the rest of that. Mike Elko had a new 6-year deal too, so that's one thing. And even the volleyball coach, Jamie Morrison, had a 5-year contract extension. So, Shane, is it safe to say the Aggies have gotten a little bit of money?
They have a lot of money, a whole lot of money. Paul on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law says, I'm hoping the Gator defensive staff will have them swarming to the football and be great tackling in the open field. Haven't seen that effort in a while. You will. Because if they
Yeah,
ain't giving great effort, they ain't going to be playing. I can
yeah,
promise you.
that's true with this staff. I agree with that.
Paul also says the Florida coaching staff they're drinking margaritas, golfing, and boating in no particular order. Probably so. Probably so, and they should be. It is spring break for sure. Brent, give us some nuggets.
Yeah, glad to do that. Western Kentucky offensive guard Lawrence Seymour is going to be playing for Texas. A lot of people say, well, what's a kid from Western Kentucky going to Texas? Well, the reality is still, I mean, he's 23. He's played 1,300 snaps. He's been at Miami, Florida, Akron, and Western Kentucky, so he's well traveled. With 6'2", 320 is how big that he is. Give you a Florida State note too. They like Ashton Daniels at quarterback. I don't know what that means right now because things are closed for them, and there's only so much you get out of it. The other quarterback at Florida State is Kevin Sperry, but they think that Ashton Daniels will be the guy, and they think that he will be okay, and that he'll be doing well. They hope. Quick note from Tennessee: George McIntyre is working at quarterback. Obviously, they haven't picked up a quarterback at this point, but McIntyre is at 6'6", 182.
God.
Gained, yeah, how about that, Shane? He's up to 202, so he's put on about 20 pounds. But when you're 6'6", you're going to look thin until you really get bigger. But they do like him. They think they've got some pretty good quarterbacks. And this was an interesting note that came out of the Tennessee situation. Tennessee tried to get Arizona State Sam Levitt, who went to LSU. Bo Pribula from Missouri took a visit, and Brendan Sorsby, yes, that Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, Ty Simpson, who went into the draft and doing real well from Alabama. So those are some of the guys that Tennessee tried to get during that time too. So Missouri has brought in new quarterbacks coach and Garrett Riley. They're trying to figure out who the quarterback's going to be. It could be Austin Simmons, an Ole Miss transfer. Matt Zollers is a returning sophomore. Nick Evers is a fifth-year journeyman from UConn. He was at Wisconsin and Oklahoma. So just a little bit, Garrett Riley, by the way, only 36 years old, and he is the brother of USC coach Lincoln Riley. So, Shane, we're not playing games, but there's still a lot that's going on in college football and certainly in college basketball right now.
Yeah. Barone 71. I love Barone's comments here, but he's totally wrong here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Here's a question. Is Kirby, Ryan Day, Dan Lanning, Big Dumb Mario on vacation? I bet they aren't, because those programs are football first. I will tell you that Kirby, Lane Kiffin, and Dan Mullen are all in the Bahamas, or were last week at a place called Baker's Bay.
Right.
They're all on vacation. Trust me, you want your coaches to go on vacation.
Sure you
It's
do.
like Coach Spurrier said, get away from football. Our
Yeah.
last staff never got away from football.
Yeah.
They had no hobbies. You want your coaches to have hobbies, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's healthy. There's no doubt. But Shane, as you know, even when you're on vacation, you have stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
And you hope everybody behaves during that time so you can enjoy it.
No doubt. Brent, good stuff as always, my friend. Enjoy did we ever ask you who's your Final Four pick?
Yeah, Florida, Arizona, Duke, and Michigan.
Well, way to go out on the limb, Brent.
Yeah. Hey, I really took a chance on that one, didn't I, Shane? Should be a fun tournament, though. It is still one of the greatest sporting events there ever will be, and it's wonderful to watch it.
Ace's question here real quick before we get out of here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Any word on Thomas Houck's knee? I don't think he has a knee problem. He had an ankle. He's fine, though. And how spirited were the Gators practice after the loss against Vanderbilt? And what can we do to improve three-point shooting? Chris Harry was on Thursday, so they had good practice. Three-point shooting is you just got to make the shots. Some days you just don't make them.
And frankly, Shane, they have improved a little bit. So I give them credit for that. Hopefully they'll continue in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Brent, good stuff. We'll talk to you next week, my man.
Enjoyed it, bud. Take care.
That's Brent Beaird. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Real quick, this day in sports brought to you by Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Go visit them at peachlanddental.com. In 1966, Texas Western beats Kentucky 72-65, the Miners' first title game ever. And that was, I think they did a movie about that. There's a lot that went into that. upset. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll talk a little Lady Gator softball with the voice of Gator softball, Ryan Urquhart. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Snyder PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, South State Bank. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond Exchange, Advocare, MGNA Wealth, Comfort Temp. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave Los Landeros Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean head beer coach, 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat, bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Landeros Tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Landeros.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
The first time ever in a public setting outside the Heisman Trophy ceremony in New York City, three legends are coming to Gainesville. Join Steve Spurrier, Danny Werfel, and Tim Tebow together with their Heisman trophies for the Legends Gala at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on Monday, March 30th. Enjoy an unforgettable night of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be a part of Gator history.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. UF grad Michael Schneider, a real estate attorney that can save you thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by helping you sell your home or land by owner without a broker. Michael Schneider, PLLC, serves the entire state of Florida. Contact Michael at maschneiderpllc.com. Back to the Titan MR Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by the voice of Gator softball, Ryan Urquhart. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Big series. You know, I'm a huge softball. I tell people softball is the best sporting event on campus. If you've never been, you can't just roll up in there now. You got to buy tickets or get season tickets, because you used to could just walk up and watch, but not anymore. Huge series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the number one team. The Lady Vols are coming in. Give us a little scouting report on the Lady Vols.
Well, the number one thing you got to know about Tennessee is they can pitch. They've got, in terms of ERA, they lead the country in terms of staff ERA. Three of the top five ERAs in the SEC come from them. They're a three-headed dragon in Carlin Pickens, Sage Margecko, and Aaron Newer. Everybody knows Carlin Pickens, not only because she's one of the best arms in the country, but she's also broken twice the velocity record for a softball pitcher. She threw it at, I think, 79.5 miles per hour last year against Nebraska, which for the non-softball folks out there, that's like throwing a 110, 50-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, it is insane velo. They're a little bit young overall through their offensive lineup, but that hasn't slowed them down. Got off to their best start in program history at 26-0 before their first loss in a series to Mississippi State, who's also very good, also ranked, and was on the road too. So it's going to be a raucous environment this weekend for them. I'll be interested to see how a roster that's got some young pieces overall, some big transfer pieces out of Boise State, got two Mountain West Freshman of the Year picks from them. As in one year and then one the ensuing year. But overall, should be interesting to see how this Florida lineup that swings really big has hit some of the most home runs in the country this year against a staff that has a sub-1 ERA as a team.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting because I was I was looking at the some of the stats, and OU, we know they can swing it every year, but in 30 games they've hit 115 home runs. And the Gators, I think, are third in America at like 67 home runs, and they're led by Jocelyn Erickson, who's had a phenomenal year. Obviously, she's been here forever. It seems like the transfer from Oklahoma a couple of years ago. But just talk about her and Taylor Shoemaker are probably our two best sticks in the lineup. But who else has stood out so far for the Gators this year?
Yeah, Kenley Cahalan got off to a really good start. One of a handful in the lineup that have double-digit home runs. By the way, that Oklahoma home run number is so insane because for context, Florida's home run record's 124. So Oklahoma's midway through the year, and they're probably on pace to maybe break the NCAA record. But Florida's right behind them with the 67 that you mentioned. Cahalan changed her stance this past offseason, made a really big difference. Gators picked up Kendall Grover, transfer from Eastern Illinois, where she was the two-time OVC Player of the Year, and her home run production's been great. She's had 7. And then the one bat that's really come on lately, and she earned SEC Freshman of the Week because of it, is Townsend Thomas. She had 4 doubles in the Kentucky series, and Shane, the prior year before that, had 4 through the course up until that point. She's had a really good bat as of late, was playing more of a redshirt role last year, and was the first base coach through the back half of last year. You might remember she was the one with the blue helmet on at first. Now she's 6th in this lineup where she's gotten really comfortable. You can see she's starting to come into her own. And after going 6 for 9 in the Kentucky series, I feel really good about how she kind of table sets for the bottom of this Florida order. And, they've hit 67 home runs for a reason. That's because, 1 through 9, they just find ways to produce.
Defensively, we know Tim Walton loves playing good, solid defense. Now, you lost 2 All-Americans in the outfield.
Sure.
With Otis and Falvey, but through we've played 30 games, 29-1, I believe it is. How have we looked defensively?
Overall defensively, I think Florida has looked as sound as you can always expect. I was just at practice last night, and of course they were working on their fielding. I think defensively overall, outfield has some new pieces. Cassie McClellan and Townsend Thomas filling that void of Corby Otis and Kendra Falvey, 2 All-Americans. Taylor Shoemaker back has kind of taken the reins of that outfield just a little bit. Has done great with it. I would say Kenley Cahalan at shortstop and third, because Florida will do some defensive shifting for their personnel at times, has looked outstanding. I mean, Kenley Cahalan's ability to make the abnormal look normal, the non-routine look routine, whether it's really close short hops or balls with weird spins to still go make a play. She has been an excellent shortstop, and that was her natural role at Alabama, and she's just as good of a third baseman. She's really stuck out to me defensively, and the fact that, Shane, this is the smallest roster in the Power 4, and there's so much versatility where Jocelyn Erickson catches, plays first. Mentioned Kenley Cahalan goes short to third base. Gabby Camilla can play either infield spot. Elle Wesolowski's experienced in the outfield. She's one of Florida's catchers. This team is just very dynamic in a lot of ways. And defensively, Coach Walton can kind of help his offense out because he can put so many people so many different places. And that's sort of a trait they had on those 2014, 2015 teams.
When you look at the girls in the circle, obviously it starts with Keegan Rothrock. We know she had a lot of injuries last year, still got to OKC. With the lineup, as you mentioned, at the plate, if they can score a few runs, she can limit walks or what have you. Talk about how she's performed so far and how important it will be for her moving forward, especially in SEC play.
Yeah, she's going to be paramount with Ava Brown out for an undisclosed amount of time. Now in her junior season, she, as of late, has really been in a groove, and Florida needed that. Had a bit of a rough outing against UCLA, but then bounced back in SEC play in that Kentucky series. Went twice, pitched 2 complete games, picked up, I think, 5 Ks across her 12 innings. She pitched against Kentucky. Both were run rules, so there wasn't as much there, but her strikeout numbers have been back up this year. She's added a little bit more to her rise ball, which is her bread and butter. But additionally, I think with Keegan Rothrock, she's doing stuff that, again, we haven't seen since those early mid 2010s teams, where that Missouri series, she had all 3 wins in the series. I mean, she got the start game 1, went the distance. Game 2 comes in that marathon extra inning game in relief, gets a win, and then closes it out on Sunday. And it's similar to what she did in 2024. And Coach Walton had said preseason, look, I don't know if she's ever going to be fully healthy, but learning to manage that and still learning to perform, we've seen her do that. And there's a reason she's climbing up the Florida record books for career wins. I don't know if she's ever going to catch the 136 Stacey Nelson had, because it's a pretty lofty number, but she's right up there with Alicia Ocasio, Delaney Gorley, Stacey Stevens in terms of how much she just goes out there and wins.
Yeah, back in the Stacey Nelson days, though, that's when I started following softball when Tim first got here. She was the only pitcher, and she pitched every damn inning there was. That's kind of changed nowadays, because they actually have staffs now. It's kind of a unique deal where they used to go from riding one girl every game, regardless if you played a doubleheader or not.
Right.
So now they have different girls they pitch. So speaking of that, Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law. Ryan, how important will it be to get Ava Brown back to make a run to OKC?
I think it'll be important just for the simple fact of Florida. It kind of curtails right into what we were talking about with pitching, of having her available gives Florida another look in the circle. Right now, Caitlin Oxley seems to have filled the Saturday starter role. She went the complete game against Kentucky. We'll see how things look this Saturday. But Coach Walton had said coming into the season that she was probably the best Saturday starter in the SEC. And yes, her bat is great, and she provides some extra home run power, and that can help you get to the World Series. But what we've seen over the last couple of years with the teams that win the national championship is you have to have your ace arm. Florida has that, but also having the pitching depth so your ace doesn't have to do it all. So it's really good news that she's projected to come back at some point this year, because to your question, she's going to be tremendously important for Florida to make a Women's College World Series run and can be for a national title.
Looking at Taylor Shoemaker, a phenomenal year last year as a true freshman. Where would you rank her? I think she's the best pure hitter Tim's ever had. I know we got Amanda Lorenz, you got Hager, Skylar Wallace, Kelsey Bruder, Francesca Anea. But to me, she's the best just natural hitter I've seen wear a Gator uniform. What do you say?
I would second that. She is special. She's leading the nation, or she's one of the nation's leader in hits right now. And Coach Walton said the same thing. And he doubled down and said she's one of the best hitters this game has ever seen. And that says a lot, because you run down the list of All-Americans and Players of the Year and National Players of the Year. Florida's had a lot of really elite hitters. But Taylor Shoemaker, this year, there's all the expectations, right, that these players deal with, especially in the modern era. With social media and things like that, where Taylor has seen really no slowdown that, I've noticed. Her home run numbers have continued to be there. She's got 12 this year, already 33, and she's not even halfway through her career. Had a solo bomber last time out. And even when she's not producing the big swings, she's able to find ways to just get on base. Just pop a single through, set up the rest of the lineup. That's why she's been such a good leadoff hitter as of late, because she's just consistent. Her swing is so like rock solid, and it took another jump this year. And the one thing that sticks out to me, Shane, is the fact that you have some hitters who are really good at, maybe pulling the ball or going opposite way or whatever it is. She can go left field, right field line out of the park. Her ability to go either direction and her softball IQ and her feel for the game is so unique. Is true. Like, seriously, I've been doing this almost a decade with this program. She is one of the best I've seen, and Coach Walton that good the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Barone 71's question on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Does Ryan see slap bunting coming back in softball, or has that era phased out? Seemed very popular in the 90s. I think it depends on the player. Kendra
Yeah.
Falvey was a slapper.
Yeah.
So
Townsend Thomas will slap. Gabby Camilla is a slap hitter. It's still around. It's just you have to have the profile to do it. You got to be a speedster. Like Kendra Falvey was so fast, and still is. She plays professionally. That, I mean, all she had to do was deaden the ball 3 feet in front of home plate, and you're like, you're already writing in your book as a single. So it's still got its place in the game. It's not the same as it was in maybe like the 90s, early 2000s, just because the game has evolved. But it's definitely got its place, and you'll see it this weekend in that Tennessee series.
yeah, for sure. We got a text here on the Titan More text line from Jonathan. He wants to know, out of the new transfers, who has stood out the most to you?
Out of the new transfers, I would say Kendall Grover, I think, has been a real standout, just because she came from Eastern Illinois, a team that made it to the Austin Regional last year. And Coach Walton had kind of indicated she was going to be that good of a hitter coming in. And, you might know things and you trust it and you say, okay, she's really talented. Let's see how it pans out. And then she came in, won National Player of the Week 2 weeks into the season. So I think in terms of transfer additions, I think Florida's gotten some really good ones. Wesolowski's been very important for Florida to have two good arms behind the plate. But Kendall Grover, I think, really stands out to me as someone who's come in and put her stamp on the program pretty instantaneously.
It's amazing when you look at how far the SEC's come in women's softball. It used to be the Pac-12 back when they were around. But when you look at what Florida has to face week in and week out in conference play, it's just a grind.
Right.
And I mean, their goal obviously is to sweep every opponent, but sometimes that's not going to happen. They're just trying to win every series, correct?
Yeah, and I think you take it day by day in the SEC. But if you win an SEC series, that's a win. So for Florida to sweep both opponents to begin the year, I don't care who they're playing, that's impressive.
Yeah. Ryan, good stuff as always. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter and how they can listen to the broadcast.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Urk PXP. You can find me on Instagram at Ryan Urk, spelled URQ. You can find our broadcasts on ESPN Gainesville, WRUF, or just WRUF now. And then this weekend we'll be on Gators Plus and the Varsity Network app. So if you go to floridagators.com and go to watch or listen or one of those on the tab, you can find us under live events. We'll have all 3 games for you there. I'll be on TV first 2 games, and we'll talk to you on the radio side Sunday.
Yeah, so if baseball's playing at the same time, are y'all both on WRUF? I've had people ask me this all the time.
So baseball will be on WRUF. If we're at the same time, baseball goes on WRUF, and then we still have our broadcast on the Varsity Network app or on floridagators.com.
Yeah, the Varsity app is the app to have because you can listen to any Gators
bounce around.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, good stuff, man. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate you having me on. Go Gators.
Yep, that's Ryan Urquhart, the voice of Lady Gators softball. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Ruse Ogre State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Big day today. I've had some people here asking about upsets. I don't have my bracket in front of me and who plays today or who plays tomorrow. I will tell you who my Final Four was. It's Arizona, Iowa State, St. John's, and the Gators. and they have the Gators playing Arizona for the national title. I don't know why I picked St. John's. I liked how they played in the Big East tournament. I think Rick Pitino is as good a coach as you're going to find. I don't know if they can shoot the ball well enough, though. I'm kind of doubting their shooting ability as we speak. All right, so that's going to do it for today's program. Tomorrow, we will have JC. We'll also have Matt McCall, who works at NBC Sports. Was on the Gator staff, back-to-back national titles with Billy Donovan. He's on Sirius Radio now, covering college basketball from Ocala. Does a tremendous job, and just a good dude. So he'll be on tomorrow, give us his thoughts after day one and leading into day two. And we appreciate everybody chiming in. Have a great day. Enjoy the games. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.